Hello everyone. At the time of recording this, it is a pretty gloomy day out, but I hope it's better for you. Today, I'm going to be doing something a bit different, and so this video might be a bit longer. I'm going to be using a Celtic Cross spread, since it requires 10 cards, and each English card pack has 10 cards. Usually, you use these for a specific situation that is weighing on your mind and affecting you. However, if you don't have anything in mind, you can still select a pile, and this might reveal something in your current situation. As always, it does not matter when you view this video. It could be today when I release it. It could be next month, next year. It doesn't matter. Just pick whichever one you feel the most drawn to at the moment. And if you also want to just watch the whole video and then retroactively pick whichever one you think applies to your situation the most, that's perfectly fine too. I don't control you. I know some people say that behavior does not really work with these, but I usually go with a more psychological standpoint from card reading rather than metaphysical, even though I do believe in spiritual things. So I think the important thing about the card reading is that you get something out of it, regardless of if you do it right or wrong. With that being said, feel free to pick a pile and then skip to the part in the video where I get to your reading. Pile number 1, if you chose this Aura Quartz, and this card with the Latias running into the clothes, this is your reading for today. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we have, this is for the present situation, Nick It. It looks like things are not as they seem. There might be some trickery afoot. You might have to be sneaky yourself here in order to get what you want. This is backed up by the card we have for challenges, and Knackley is literally rock and it's salt. This is not, whatever it is not going well, right? So for Nimble, this is, card number 3 is like the subconscious, how it's affecting you. You really want things to go fast. You want to get ahead. It's probably causing a little bit of like impatience. And this might also be part of why it seems like it's not getting anywhere, even if there might be parts where it is getting somewhere. Because number 4 is like past influence. This is Yamask. And the thing about this card is it definitely does imply, yes, there is some baggage here. Yamask is like carrying around its mummified face and it's like crying all the time, right? So like this would imply that part of the reason why there is this impulsiveness is because of whatever mental baggage is going on here. There's a bit of desperation involved as well, implied in these cards. Yeah, especially with card number 5 is related to aspirations. And, technical machine, turbo energize. That feels pretty self-explanatory, right? Card number 6 is the future. Now, Wug Trio is an interesting card to get. I believe in this case, it means that other people are going to be fundamental to your success. This is not something that you can do on your own, especially if it's like 1 or 2 extra people, not like a crowd of people. This is like more of like a close-knit community, maybe like some family members you really trust or some close friends. or like maybe some kind of mentor figure, like a teacher. So, self-perception. Technical machine blindside. This feels like you feel like you are literally being blindsided. Like I said, this is like these technical machines can be a bit self-explanatory with the title, but it feels pretty overwhelming, right? It feels like you're not getting anywhere. It feels like everything is getting in your way. But now we're moving on to real external factors, actual external factors that are affecting you right now. And we got the Aegis Slash. The Aegis Slash is really good at defending. It's really good at blocking attacks. But while it's in this defense mode, it's not... It's specialized, right? It's specialized to block attacks. Aegis Slash has to switch in order to go on attack mode, right? So this would imply that part of the reason why you are stuck is because things are a little stuck. But Aegis Slash is such a good Pokemon. It used to be really overpowered. So I think this implies that things are stuck, not because they are always going to be stuck, but because there are certain things in place that are blocking you right now, just for now. But it's not going to be like that forever. Things will switch up, right? So for expectations, card number 9, we have the Panpour. Alright, so this would imply that once you get everything sorted out, you think it's going to fix all your problems. I mean, like, look at how happy this guy is. It's also like a water card, getting waters. But number 10 is the actual result. And Deoxys is a very interesting card to get. It's, it's an alien, but it also like regenerates. And it's also a very like Deoxys itself in the like lore and stuff, it regenerates very easily. But it also switches its form whenever it needs to. Plus, here's your metal energy. So this implies that as long as you have the right thinking, once you like start to understand, especially like it's a psychic energy, right? Once you start to understand more, you need to be ready to shift your thinking in order to actually like get what you want. Because like I said, it's not necessarily that things are going to be blocked forever. It's just you might be looking at this situation from the wrong angle. And that's partly why everything seems so blocked out. Especially since this is such a lonely card, right? Deoxys is also a really unique Pokemon too. Even though it's not very lonely, in the movie there's like 2 of them. They're trying to find each other. But yeah, friends or like an outside opinion that you trust is going to be important to unblocking yourself in this situation so that you can proceed. Alright. So, pile number 1, that's your reading. Thank you, I hope this helped. Alright, pile number 2, if you picked this bismuth along with this Deoxys illustration, I don't even know what's going on here, but yeah, this is your reading. Oops. Also, I know there's not a lot of space. I'm going to like pull up the cards towards the camera as we go along. Alright, so card number 1 is your present situation, the Dottler. This feels like you're staying in your shell right now. You might even be afraid to really progress. Or you're just kind of like sitting there waiting to see what happens. There's a lot of like, this is like a middle stage like bug. There's a lot of emphasis on like guarding yourself and waiting. So now let's shed some light on what this is about. Card number 2 is challenges Toxel. Okay, so this would imply that either you are not or you feel like you are not experienced enough to do whatever you're hoping for, which is partly why you're sitting here, waiting. For the subconscious, the Lipard. Now, this is a dark type. Dark type cards can be kind of like about how you're stuck in your own head, especially with Lipard, which is such a crafty Pokemon. This tacks on to the idea of fears holding you back right now. And the Wimpod is so card number 4 is your past, how your past influences your decisions. And the Wimpod implies that this is not entirely unfounded. This does not come out of nowhere. This comes from your insecurities due to being the weaker person in a situation, and now you're just afraid to come out of your shell. Aspirations, medical energy. This is really interesting for an aspiration. See, this could be that you want to help others, but this could also be that you want help. Now that I say it out loud, it feels like it might be the second one. That just feels right. You want help. So let's see if these other cards will give some more insight. 6 is about the future. Iron Bundle. This is such a card. It's okay. Iron Bundle is a very it might not be the best Pokemon, it might not be the flashiest Pokemon. It is a very it's a very versatile Pokemon. Like, especially with Hyper Blower and Refrigerated Steam, this is a support Pokemon. But, well, I mean, with Hyper Blower, it could be a support Pokemon. With Refrigerated Steam, it can be an attacker Pokemon. And you would, like, when it would be an attacker is because it trumps other big forces in the meta. An evolution Pokemon. Most evolution Pokemon that people are using right now are EX Pokemon. So, this implies that you can be, like, the skilled person. You just have to find your specific niche. Because Iron Bundle is such a good utility Pokemon, but it's mostly for specific circumstances. But when it does work, it's really good. So let's look at these other cards. Self-perception. Gliscor. This almost feels like... See... Gliscor, self-perception. This feels like you're holding yourself back on purpose. Partially. Like, are you afraid of what you might become if you put your foot down? It's not uncommon for people to be concerned with the fact that they might get a big head later if they build too much self-confidence. That's kind of what this feels like. But external factors masquerade. Yeah, this implies that you're being intimidated by the outside world and by all the people that you know who are able to spread their wings and shine how they want to. Expectations. But ultimately, you just want to live your life, right? Now for this result, yeah, that Iron Hands. So at some point you want to get moving. And then Iron Hands as your result. This is really telling you that you have to be a bit more proactive. And you can't just sit around. Especially with this fire energy. But Iron Hands is such a good card. I cannot tell you how much this thing has whooped me in PvP. Really good Pokemon in the games too. Use it for Terra raids. But this is such a good card to get, even if it's being a bit heavy-handed, pun not intended. So yeah, have some more confidence in yourself. You don't have to worry as much as you think you do about whatever. There's, like I said, there's a lot of insecurities here, but, you know, and it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need someone else to help you, and sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. But these cards heavily imply that this is a lot of this is a self-confidence issue. And you will be able to help yourself. You might have to look up some tutorials on what you're trying to do or something like that. Maybe you do need outside influence, like advice. But this is saying you can do it. Alright? So, pile number 2, that was your reading. Alright, pile number 3, if you chose this amethyst crystal, along with Diancie, it's like shining, then this is your reading. Now, I know you can't see the cards. I'm going to, like, show them to you as we go along. So, the first card is about the present, Swablu. In a kind of a lost situation, you're just kind of floating along. And that might be where the desire for guidance comes in. Challenges, Panseer. This feels like someone or something, especially like family members, are pushing you to be more proactive about your situation or something like that. Like, you know, like parents will always like be like, "Oh, you got to be a doctor," that kind of thing. But let's look at the other cards here, see what else is up. So card number 3 is about like your subconscious and what is affecting you. And this implies like, I guess like conformity, just like following the pattern. This does tie into the thing where like everyone is telling you what to do, but you yourself might be confused about what you should do. It just like goes in your mind like a loop sometimes, right? Card number 4 is your past, Gligar. And this seems to imply that you really enjoyed your freedom. Not necessarily, maybe as a kid, not necessarily as a kid, but like your freedom in your past. And you still value that freedom. And that's why it's like grating on your nerves. So for card number 5, this is about aspirations. We got the Turbo Energize technical machine. This is pretty self-explanatory. You want to go in the fast lane, you want to do what you want to do, but at the same time, it looks like you're having trouble deciding on what you want to do. Future, Wogue Trio. It's a little funny. I got the Turbo Energize and the Wogue Trio in a different reading, but Future. This is about, in this case, this is about not necessarily taking every single thing at face value from whoever is pressuring you, but you do need some other influence. This might be more of friends or people who share your core values. For example, like, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to study astronomy. Whatever. Go find other people who want to study astronomy. Go look up how to be an astronomer. Go look up whatever. You know, I don't want to be an electrician. I want to be an art therapist. Go find other people who also want to be art therapists. Go, whatever. That's what this is about. Self-perception, card number 7. We've got the Techno Radar. This is like, you're kind of banking on things to unfold as they will. Or, like, you're just kind of convinced everything's going to work out in the future, maybe. Or, like, that the future will just magically have the answers for you, I guess is probably the best way of phrasing that. Now, let's look at the other cards here. External factors, knuckle stack. This also would be about, like, having a solid foundation, falling in line. But, well, I guess, actually, this feels more like the desire to have a solid foundation. Or, I was gonna ask if you come from a family where that's really important, like, as an example, my mom always told me life isn't about having fun, it's about making money to live and then you die, or, like, whatever. But, like, as an external factor, this feels very solid. This feels rooted in earthly things. That might be related to what other people are telling you, but there's also some acknowledgement that it is true to an extent. Like, yes, you literally need things to survive. That's just how it is, but do you need the most luxurious things? Not necessarily. Look, he's, like, chipped. But it's still a knuckle stack. Still trucking. Expectations, Feebas. This is not a very good self-image, I'm gonna be real. But, this is temporary embarrassment, right? Your glow-up year is coming. Your glow-up era is coming, right? So that's something to look forward to, but you still kind of have to initiate it. But the results are going to be great. Palkia, the literal god of space. Good Pokemon, amazing typing. Legendary. This implies that once you find where you're supposed to be, it's going to be perfect. Not perfect in the sense that everything's going to go smoothly as you get there, but once you actually get to the destination, everything's going to be, like, great. And you're going to be like, man, I'm so glad that I didn't go into whatever it was that everyone else wanted you to do. But especially with this energy, you're going to have to be a little proactive. So, like I said, you're literally just look it up. There's, like, if it is a career thing, there's tons of subreddits on, like, how to be, for, like, literally for people who are learning how to do whatever, or who want to have a job in whatever. So, yeah. Like I said, there is a balance of, like, being reasonable, but you do not need the most luxurious thing in the world to be happy. I know a lot of people, like, their parents or whoever will, like, try and pressure them to be, like, a super high-paying job, but, those jobs can be high-paying for a reason. They are very taxing. And, judging by the other cards in this spread. You do value your freedom, and you want to have fun with it. Which is why, you know, coming to a nice compromise is going to be better for your health in the long run. Alright? So, pile number 3. Hope that helped. And that's the end of this video. I will see you all next time.